What's going on, guys? Niko back here with another NFL draft video. We're going to be going over all the AFC teams' drafts, reviewing and grading them, going over all the picks, who I think are steals, who I think are great value picks, and who I think, could potentially be great in the later rounds. If you guys do enjoy the videos, make sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn the bell on. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. Going into Madden 23, obviously. We still have some Madden 22, but going into Madden 23, obviously with the real-life NFL news as well. If you guys want to see more of this, make sure to comment down below, and I would love to hear your feedback. Obviously, this is mainly a Madden channel, but me throwing in these NFL news and draft videos, I do enjoy doing them, so let me know if you guys enjoy them as well. And in today's video, we're going to be going over all the AFC teams' drafts and going over every single player they picked in depth. This is going to be quite a longer video, but I'm going to try to go over every single team in the AFC, and obviously again go over their depth, go over each pick in depth for each team. The Ravens here, we're going to start with the Ravens, and then we're just going to go down the list. This is in alphabetical order. We're just going to go through all the AFC teams today. Tomorrow will be the NFC teams, and later tonight I will have a video going over the new Madden schedule if you guys wanted to know about that. Obviously there is a big time announcement on that schedule that we will be going over later. And let's get into this. So, Ravens get Kyle Hamilton at 14. I love the pick. It was a very, very, very solid pick. Great value. Kyle Hamilton kind of fell in a lot in some people's mock drafts because of his combine speed. If we come over here and look, I'm pretty sure it was like 4.5. Yeah, it was a 4.5 940-yard dash. I'm not really gonna, look too much into that. You can see it says it says right here he's projected to be a year one starter. And that he's gonna be an elite player. I totally agree. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. My personal opinion, the Ravens should play him at strong safety. He's built like a linebacker, he's got the speed of a great safety. So playing him at strong safety here, having him in the box, manned up against tight ends. Some of the elite he could probably hang with George Kittle, Travis Kelce, guys like that. When you play against those kind of guys, especially in the AFC, you have Travis Kelce, Darren Waller that you're going to have to match him up on, in those big games down the stretch. I mean, especially when we get into the playoffs, having a guy that can maybe, have a chance of shutting those guys down or, at least limiting them is very, very, very good for the Ravens. He's also going to be great in the box. Now, here's one thing I wouldn't do. I would not have him ranging back there by himself. That's Marcus Williams' job. That's what you signed him 5 years, $70 million for. Have Marcus Williams do that. He is absolutely, Marcus Williams might be the best safety at doing that other than Jesse Bates in football. So have Marcus Williams out there, roaming the field at free safety. Kyle Hamilton, do not match him up in slot as well. I do not want this guy playing slot corner. I know he was very versatile in college, but he succeeded most in the box matchup against tight ends, most of that. So play him there, and he will definitely succeed. Linderbaum, the Ravens get him at number 25. Extremely, extremely great value. Obviously, again, year one starter, elite. He's the best interior offensive line in the draft. It says 296 here. He actually got up to like 304, I want to say. And even, if Linderbaum can get up to like 310, 315, he's gonna be the best. One of the best centers in the NFL. He was an absolute stud at college. I think it completely, comes over to the NFL, and he's gonna be a great player. You can see here. Again, he's 6'2", 296, but I mean his arms perfect, hands fine. His grade is 6.7. This is one of the highest grades I've seen so far on here. A 99, elite player. Obviously was his next gen stats. So he's gonna be a very great player to watch. He does remind me of Creed Humphrey. Last year coming in being the best center in the NFL arguably, and making the All-Pro first team as the center. Creed Humphrey did last year as a rookie for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I mean, just look what he did for that O-line. Absolutely amazing. Obviously, they had other guys, but he really anchored the O-line, and that's what I think Linderbaum could do this year for the Ravens. Obviously, it's a position of need, dating back to the AFC divisional game against the Bills 2 years ago, where the ball was just getting thrown all over the place. It was just some of the most inaccurate snaps you could see by a team. Obviously, Lamar Jackson got hurt on that, a bad snap in the playoffs against the Bills that one year. So just shoring up the position. Obviously, last year was a mess. Having McCarry there for a little bit, he's more better at like tackle or guard. which is where they're probably going to play him this year. So having Linderbaum here just to, really just to shore up that position for the next however many years, 4 to 8 years, is going to be an absolute amazing pickup there for the Ravens. David Ajabo, I love the pick. Obviously, he was a first-round talent towards Achilles in his pro day. When he comes back, he will be amazing. This says will eventually be plus starter. I think it's. I think he's gonna be a day one starter once he's healthy. Obviously, if he was healthy, he would be a day one starter. But once he is healthy, I'm guessing this is taking his injury into consideration. He'll be a day one starter as soon as possible when he's fully healthy. Now, he's 6'4", 250 pounds. He has such a great burst off the defensive line. I love it. He ran a 4.5 at his 40-yard dash, so actually faster than Kyle Hamilton. So he is an absolute stud on the D-line, and this is going to be very, very, very fun to watch. Him and Odafe off the edge for the next however many years is going to be amazing. Obviously, they were high school teammates. He's going back to his Michigan defensive coordinator with Mike McDonald being the Ravens' new defensive coordinator. And then Jim Harbaugh was his head coach in Michigan. Now he gets John Harbaugh in Baltimore with the Ravens. And I really just think it's a perfect fit. Ajabo is going to succeed with the Ravens as soon as he's healthy. Probably around week 10, 11, 12. If I had to guess, he will be back being a rotational piece. And then probably the season after this upcoming season, he'll be in there fully being an absolute stud. So very excited for David Ajabo here to the Ravens. Absolute steal. They got 3 first-round talents, in the second round and then 2 in the first, obviously, at very great value picks. I love, this Ravens draft. Travis Jones here is an absolute stud as well. Interior defensive lineman. He can really play all over. He's great, pass rushing as well. Run stopper, pass rusher. He can do it both. This will eventually be a plus starter. I totally agree. 6'4", 325. He ran a 4.9 on the 40-yard dash. 28.5 vertical jump. Not bad. And he's gonna have such a great time, learning from some of these guys that the Ravens have. The Ravens have Calais Campbell, Michael Pierce, and Derek Wolfe, all in the interior D-line. He can learn from each of them. I think he will. Obviously, Derek Wolfe is a Super Bowl champion. Michael Pierce has been a Pro Bowler, and so has Calais Campbell, also being an All-Pro. He's been to a Super Bowl. Calais Campbell and Derek Wolfe especially, Travis Jones learning from them is going to be a lot of fun for him, and he's going to succeed a ton from him, learn a ton of stuff. So Travis Jones here, especially in this 3rd round, pick 76, I believe it was, he's going to be an absolute amazing player. I feel like this is going to be one of the steals of the draft down the line. Daniel Falele. Now, this is obviously a guy who's going to be rotational, starting off if say Morgan Moses gets hurt, he'll plug in at right tackle. Now, he's an absolute giant, 6'8", 390 pounds. This will eventually be average starter. I wish I said average plus. He does remind me a lot of Orlando Brown Jr. from the build and the weight. I think Orlando Brown was a little bit lighter, but he was also 6'8". Falele is actually pushing 6'9", I think. So he is an absolute monster. And I think he'll be the Ravens starting right tackle down the road. After Morgan Moses' contract expires 2 years from now, I think Falele is going to plug in there and be the Ravens starting right tackle. And again, absolute monster. The Ravens built a wall this offseason around Lamar Jackson. After last season, when he got hurt, when he was getting consistently pressured, the offensive line was just bad. They have Ronnie Stanley, who Ian Rappaport tweeted out and said that his recovery is going very well. They lost Bradley Bozeman, but they got Falele, they got Morgan Moses, they got Tyler Linderbaum, they still have Macari, and they have Ben Cleveland. So absolute gigantic guys on the offensive line there around Lamar Jackson to protect him. I love this pickup. He's not going to be a starter now, but he will be down the line once he gets the starting job over Morgan Moses. Now, I'm going to talk about these guys a little bit less. Jalen Armour-Davis, I think, can be a very, very, very good corner. He has a lot of potential, a big upside, as long as he can stay healthy and as long as he's put in a position to succeed. He was a very good corner at Alabama. He feels like a nickel to me, just looking at him as a player. And I do like to pick at 119, very value esque pick. It's a very Ravens pick as well. Alabama corner. We know how the Ravens love their Alabama players, especially corner Marlon Humphrey, right there. So I do like the pick right here, and I just feel like he can be a starter eventually. He's not going to be a starter right away. He's going to be more of a rotational secondary guy like Brandon Stevens was last year before all the injuries. And I think Armour-Davis is going to come in and be a very, very, very solid rotational piece, maybe eventually solidifying himself as the Ravens, full-time third corner, being that nickel guy and having Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey on the outside. Right there, Charlie Kohler as tight end out of Iowa State at 128 in the draft, 4th round, is a very, very, very solid pick. He's gonna be more of that receiving threat tight end. Can't really block, but again, gonna be more of that receiving tight end. And you can see there that they picked Isaiah Likely as well, 2 tight ends. It's kind of obvious what the Ravens are trying to do here, and going back to the 2019 offense with the 3 tight end sets, with Lamar Jackson being his best, and they drafted another running back, building up the offensive line as much as they are, and also having the running backs come back healthy, trading away Marquise Brown, getting rid of weapons, trying to build up the running game. As much as I don't like them trading Marquise Brown, because Marquise Brown was a starter. I don't think he was a wide receiver 1, but he was a very high end number 2, and I don't really have a problem with it though, and I don't even have a problem with them not adding a veteran receiver. They should have a veteran in their room, not to be the number 1 guy though. They need Rashad Bateman to be out there as the number 1 guy, which I think they will. James Prochet needs to get more playing time. Devin Duvernay needs to get more snaps at receiver. They also have Tylan Wallace out there as well, who they drafted last year. That's a very young core. As long if you can put up a guy like Jarvis Landry in there, Julio Jones, who can be the 2 or the 3, to Rashad Bateman, and make sure you put James Prochet in the game more, because I really think he's going to be a very, very, very good receiver. So I want to see more of those guys, and I think that's what the Ravens are going to try to do. Obviously, it's definitely an upgraded receiver room from 2019 when they had Willie Snead, Seth Roberts, and they had Michael Crabtree in 2018. So definitely upgraded receivers. It's just I feel like they need that like that one veteran guy, not an awful veteran guy like Willie Snead and Seth Roberts. And Seth Roberts was more of a special teams guy anyway, but more of that actual high, not high end, but a very good starter in a guy like Jarvis Landry or Julio Jones. And I think that they should probably look into Jarvis Landry in my opinion, but you can just definitely tell they're trying to go back to 2019. As much as I like how that sounds, how the Ravens were 14-2, dominated the league, had the best rushing offense, and then they just fell apart in the playoffs, is because after teams were able to stop the run game like the Titans were in the playoffs, the Ravens' passing game was stagnant. But we saw last year it did grow. The passing game did grow. But again, the passing game was stagnant in 2018. So they're going to have to build off that, and they're going to have to incorporate more of the passing plays and the running plays. So I would take the 2019 running plays, run scheme, and mix it in with last year's passing scheme, and I think we could really be cooking with fire. So I really do enjoy that. Jordan Stout, Penn State punter, in my opinion, the best punter in the draft. The Ravens get him. Sam Cook is getting old. People didn't like this pick. I do. You always want to have your special teams unit, on point. Jordan Stout was the best punter in the draft. He is the best leg, in my opinion. Not the biggest. He is the best. He is the most accurate with a good amount of power. I know Ariza has the biggest leg, but Jordan Stout here is going to be absolutely amazing. Isaiah Likely is more of a more of a receiving tight end, which I don't really know what they're going to do here with Boyle. Obviously, he was hurt last year and hurt the year before, so that's definitely a worry. But he was the best blocking tight end when he did play back in 2019, 2018, 2017 as well. So he was the best blocking tight end in the NFL when he was healthy. Now, Isaiah Likely, they could move to slot receiver. I'm not saying they should, but they can, because he just is such a great route runner, such a good catcher, and he's definitely the all-around receiver that the Ravens need if he were to play receiver. So if they can move him to the slot, maybe try him at receiver, that could be a little fun to watch. Damarian Williams, I don't really know about, so I'm just gonna leave that there. A lot of people didn't like that pick when there were guys like Khalil Shakir, Calvin Austin, and Justin Ross on the board. Obviously, Justin Ross is undrafted. He's actually signed with the Chiefs today, which if he hits his full potential, that's going to be very scary, if you are the rest of the NFL having the Chiefs pick him up. And then Tyler Beatty, who I do like. I've seen a bunch of highlights, tape of him. He's very elusive, breaks tackles. He has a burst. I do like that. He will definitely make the starting roster. It will probably be him, Dobbins, and Edwards. Justice Hill will probably go to the practice squad or get cut, is my best guess. So that is the Ravens. 14 minutes on the Ravens, I know, but this is probably going to be the longest. It is my favorite team. I did have, to talk about them the most. I give them an A+, obviously, just a ton of value picks in Jalen Armour-Davis, Daniel Falele, and, value picks meaning really the top 4, Travis Jones, Ajabo, Linderbaum, and Hamilton, getting them at the spots that they did. incredible value. That is an A+ draft for the Baltimore Ravens. Now let's get into the Buffalo Bills. The Bills get trade with the Ravens actually to move up to 23 and get Kaiir Elam. Now I do like to pick. Kaiir Elam is a very good player. Was it a bit of a reach? Maybe. He maybe could have got him in the second round. I traded up into the second round instead of trading up in the first round. Maybe the Bills would have saved a pick or two, but it's not really gonna make a difference. He ran a 4.39 in his 40-yard dash. He's 6'1", 190, very good corner. He's going to be an immediate starter for the Bills. Maybe he shouldn't be, but he will be. This will eventually be a plus starter. I totally agree. He could definitely make a Pro Bowl or two down the line. It's going to be him, Trey White, and then probably Taron Johnson in that secondary for the Bills. So the Bills add an absolute stud right here. I love Kaiir Elam. I wanted the Ravens maybe to stag him in the second round. Obviously, he didn't make it there, but Kaiir Elam, I like the pick here for the Bills very much. James Cook, running back, by far the best receiving back in the draft, and that's what the Bills wanted. They tried to sign J.D. McKissick in the offseason. He ended up backing out of that contract and going back to Washington. But James Cook easily is the best receiving back in the draft. 5'11", 199. He ran a 4.4 at the 40-yard dash. This has good backup with potential to develop into a starter. Again, I agree. They have Singletary and Moss still there, but those guys aren't really the best receiving backs. Singletary is more of a he kind of reminds me of like a Mark Ingram kind of guy. Just maybe like not as good as at trucking, but the size just reminds me of Mark Ingram. James Cook here is gonna be very good for them, and he's gonna be a very good receiving back. They get Terrell Bernard here, linebacker from Baylor. And he's gonna be very good as well. He is. I'm very sure. I'm pretty sure that he's very athletic. 6'1", 224. This says average backup or special teamer. They might have reached on him. It definitely looks like they might have reached on him here in the third round. Maybe could have got him in the fourth and the fifth. But still, he's gonna be. He's not gonna start right away. They obviously have Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, AJ Klein. So he'll definitely be a backup special teamer until. They need him to step up and be a starter. He can learn from those guys for the time being. Very solid pick. Khalil Shakir, I like this pick a lot. Khalil Shakir, I wanted the Ravens maybe to look into him. 6 foot 196, ran a 4.4 at the combine in the 40-yard dash. This is good backup with potential to be a starter. I agree, but for the Bills specifically, I think that he will start. They don't have Cole Beasley anymore, and they really need a guy to fit in there with Diggs and with Gabriel Davis. So I think Khalil Shakir would definitely do that. And I really like this pick. Again, I kind of wanted the Ravens to draft him, but they ended up not getting him. He ended up going in the 5th round at 148. They get Matt Ariza, who is arguably, he's not the best punter in the draft. There are actually 2 punters that went before him because they have more accurate legs. Ariza has an absolute gigantic leg. He can kick the ball 150 yards, but the accuracy does come into play with punters, and you can tell the NFL values, accuracy, and that's why 2 punters went before him. He'll definitely still be a good player. I'm pretty sure he can actually kick as well. So God forbid Tyler Bass gets hurt, one of the more above average kickers in the NFL. Ariza might be able to kick for them as well. So I like the pick here in the 6th round. Very good value. They get Christian Benford right here out of Villanova. He is not going to be bad at all. This is average backup or special teamer. I agree, but I feel like he definitely has some potential here for the Bills. And then they took Luke Tenuta, offensive tackle, and Bale Inspector, linebacker. I'm not really gonna talk about them because I don't really know too much about them. But for the Bills, I will give them an A-. I do like the Khalil Shakir pick. I like the James Cook pick, and I like the Kaiir Elam pick. Matt Ariza, again, great value, so I do like that pick as well. The rest of them, they're very okay to below average. So I'm gonna give them an A- here. A lot of teams giving them, or not a lot of teams, a lot of analysts and insiders giving them A+. I don't think this is on the same level as the Ravens draft or like the Jets draft, which we'll get into later. So for the Bills, I'm gonna give them an A- here. For right now, the Cincinnati Bengals get Daxton Hill in the 1st round. This is one of my more highly regarded players. I love Daxton Hill, and I'm kind of, annoyed that the Bengals got him. Obviously, I'm a Ravens fan, so the Bengals upgrading whenever they can, is not fun for, the Ravens here. And Dax Hill is going to be amazing. He can play anywhere on the field, free safety, strong safety. He can play slot corner as well. He can probably even play boundary corner if we're being serious here. Dax Hill is amazing. I loved him. This says eventually will be a plus starter. I think he's going to start day one for the Bengals. He ran a 4.38 in the combine in the 40-yard dash, and he's 6', 191. Now what this points to for me, to be honest, is that they're not going to re-sign Jesse Bates next year. I'm pretty sure they franchise tagged him this year, and next year, I think that they're going to let Jesse Bates go. They're not going to be able to afford him, and they're going to make Dax Hill more of what Jesse Bates was. So I don't blame him here for taking Dax Hill. He was probably the best player on the board at the time. Very good player. Cam Taylor-Britt, not bad pick at all. A cornerback. They're trying to go really into the secondary. This is good backup with potential to develop into a starter. Again, I do agree with most of these. Is that he definitely has the potential to be a starter. He's 5'11", 196. He's gonna be a very solid player. Zachary Carter, very solid as well. He ran a 4.9. He's 6'4", 282. He's gonna be more of a rotational guy on the D line. They have Trey Hendrickson. They lost Larry Ogunjobi, I believe, but they still have DJ Reader and Sam Hubbard. So guys like that are going to be helping him out. He's definitely going to be a rotational piece on the D line right there. And then we also have Cordell Volson, who could start at guard for them maybe in like a couple of years, but definitely a project. And then Tyson Anderson and Jeffrey Gunter, I don't really know much about. I think I heard Jeffrey Gunter was pretty athletic, but don't really quote me on that. So that is the Bengals draft. I would probably give it a B to a B+. I think I'm going to give it a B+ because Daxton Hill was actually, I really like Daxton Hill. And they got a bunch of guys who can, probably eventually end up being starters on their team. I will definitely give that a B+. Cleveland Browns didn't have a pick until the 3rd round. And they definitely got some guys in here that I like. I love Perion Whitford. Perion Whitford was one of my, the best interior D linemen in this draft, in my opinion. This says eventually will be average starter. There's just so much talent. His ceiling is so high that I think he could actually be a very good starter. And I think the Browns got a steal there at D tackle. So I like it right there. Martin Emerson, solid corner, who I think can maybe turn into something. Alex Wright, David Bell, I do like as well. Has a lot of potential. Very high ceiling. He's 6'1", 212, running a 4.65. Average backup or special teamer. I'm guessing he's going to start out as a special teamer and then make his way up to the receiving core. They do have Amari Cooper there. They have Donovan Peoples-Jones, and then that's really it. They have David, or I think his name's David Schwartz maybe, at receiver there, but David Bell might slide in there. They took a kicker. They actually released their kicker today in Chase McLaughlin. So they took a kicker here. Jerome Ford, Mike Woods, Isaiah Thomas, and Dawson Deaton here is the rest of the draft. You guys can go look into that if you want. I would give the Browns a B as well. They got some steals here with like Perion Whitford and David Bell here. I do like those picks right there. I would give them a B+ there. Excuse me, a B+ there for getting them that late in the draft. Denver Broncos didn't have a pick until round 2. They took Nick Bonito. I love Nick Bonito. He is very fast. Very speedy guy. He ran a 4.5 at the combine, 6'3", 248. I think he'll be a eventual starter for them. And he has that D line is going to be so good. Randy Gregory, DJ Jones, Nick Bonito, and Bradley Chubb on that Broncos D line is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I definitely like this pick right here for them. Greg Dulcich, tight end, not bad at all. Damari Mathis, I do like that pick. Uwazurike, I do like as well. And then some of these other guys, you can take a look here. I don't really know them, so I'm not really going to comment on them. I do like these 4 picks right here, though. Some very good value, and Nick Bonito was top of the board in the 2nd round. So I would give the Broncos a B+ as well. So just upgrading a team that is going to be in contention for a Super Bowl next year. Obviously with Russell Wilson, with Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, with that receiving core, that secondary, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch here. They're in Denver. Now that was the Broncos. We're going to go down here to the Houston Texans. Texans had a lot of picks this draft, and they definitely did really well on a couple of them. I do like some of these picks. Stingley at 3. I was kind of questioning why they took him at 3. So Ike Ekwonu was on the board, and they obviously need a tackle. Tunsil, I'm pretty sure his contract's up after this year or next year, and Ekwonu is just such a great tackle. You just take him anyway there, to be honest. Stingley, I feel like I'm not going to say he's a reach, but if he does not go back to form like play like he was in his freshman season, it's going to be a little bit alarming here for the 3rd overall pick in this draft. Stingley, he was so good in his freshman year, and then the last few years hasn't really looked like himself. A couple of injuries as well. So if he does not go back to his freshman form, I don't really know what the Texans can expect here. Maybe, I'm not going to say bust because we don't know, obviously, but I mean, he really needs to return to his freshman form for this pick to make sense over Ike Ekwonu. And then they get Kenyon Green, who is fine. There were just a lot of better interior O-linemen, like Linderbaum, like Zion Johnson. So guys like that were just better. This feels like a little bit of a reach. Jalen Petrie in the 2nd round, I love that pick. Jalen Petrie is so versatile. He can play slot corner, he can play free safety, he can play strong safety. Defensive back at a Baylor, I like that pick. John Mechie, the 3rd wide receiver, I like it. Alabama receiver. Take him in the 2nd round here at 44. Doesn't feel like a reach at all. I do like this pick a lot. Pairing him up with Brandon Cooks now is going to be a lot of fun. Christian Harris out of Alabama as well is a very good pick as well, in my opinion. He ran a 4.4, super athletic, 6 foot 226. I think he has a lot of potential, a very high ceiling. Dameon Pierce, not bad at all. And then these last guys I don't really know about. Thomas Booker, Tegan Quitoriano, and then Austin DeCulis. I don't really know about those guys, but I do like these 5 picks right here. Stingley and Kenyon Green might be reaches. Stingley, I'm not gonna say he's a reach because he would have been a top 3 pick if he stayed healthy or if he was what he was in his freshman season. So I'm not gonna call Stingley a reach. Kenyon Green I do feel like was a reach because there were just better players. So I'm gonna give this a B. Just a B. We'll definitely have to see because, I mean, I could be completely wrong about this. I could be completely, shut up if Stingley goes back to freshman form. Then this is definitely an A- A to an A draft. But Kenyon Green, I feel like, was a little bit of a reach. He's still going to be a good player, but I think you could have got a great player in this draft. Petrie I do like as well. So Texans here get a B for my, grade. Indianapolis Colts. Didn't have a pick until the 2nd round. They take Alec Pierce with their first pick, a receiver, which they do need. They need some guys around Matt Ryan. He ran a 4.4, he's 6'3", 211. I feel like, again, I just feel like there were better guys on the board. They get Jelani Woods at tight end. I do like that pick. Bernard Raymond, I love this pick. One of the better offensive linemen in the draft. You can see here. Eventually be a plus starter, getting him in round 3. He's 6'6", 303, absolute monster. They've been trying to replace Anthony Costanzo. They brought in Eric Fisher last year, and now Bernard Raymond is going to be an absolute stud. Love this pick. This pick right here is incredible value here for the Colts. Nick Cross, safety out of Maryland. Not bad either. I do like this pick. He ran a 4.3, very fast, 6 foot, 212, and he can play out, deep safety. And then the rest of these picks, Eric Johnson's not bad, Andrew Ogletree's not bad, and then Curtis Brooks and Rodney Thomas, I don't really know too much about. In my opinion, this is a B draft as well. Bernard Raymond is really the spotlight of this draft. I love that pick so much. I think he's going to be a great player for them as well. The Jacksonville Jaguars now. Now, I was talking about this in my mock draft, and they did what I expected them to do and take Trayvon Walker. And I'm going to give them, I'm going to say this before I go over the players. I'm giving them a B-. They really have one pick that I really like that I really like. The rest of them are they just don't really make sense. And that's going to start with Trayvon Walker. I did not like the Trayvon Walker pick at number 1. He doesn't have enough experience. He didn't start for a portion of the year, and then the production just wasn't there. We couldn't see what he could do. This is basically just because he got popular down the stretch here. I know Doug Peterson came out and said that there was no debate on who to take number 1. That's foolish if there wasn't. Aidan Hutchinson, in my opinion, was the clear number 1. We saw production. We saw what he could do. He destroyed left tackles all year, getting the quarterback with 14 sacks. And he was just amazing. So I thought he was the obvious pick number 1. Trayvon Walker, I honestly think probably could have been top 10, but not number 1. There really is no reason to take him number 1. I don't like Trayvon Walker pick at 1. Again, he's not going to be a bad player, but he's not going to be Aidan Hutchinson either. I'm going to give that, just a very poor decision there for Jacksonville, especially with the number 1 pick. The number 1 pick is going to be a franchise changer, which Aidan Hutchinson would have been. Trayvon Walker, not so sure. Devin Lloyd here. I do like. This is the pick I like. They traded back up into the first round to get Devin Lloyd, the best linebacker in this draft by far, or like middle linebacker. They did need to replace Miles Jack. They did that here with Devin Lloyd. I love the pick. Luke Fortner, center. They need to replace Brendan Linder. I totally get it. Chad Muma, linebacker. Solid pick. Very athletic. Snoop Connor here, running back, is not bad at all. They didn't really need a running back. They have ETN and James Robinson. But, just adding depth, I'm guessing. And then the last two guys here are just for depth. 2 corners. I don't really know about them, though. I would give the Jaguars a B-. I don't like the Trayvon Walker pick, a 1. People can disagree with me if they want. That's just how I feel about it. The Chiefs get an A+. They're the best. They're going to be the best team in the league. They're going to be the best team in the league next year anyway. Might as well just give them the best, one of the best drafts. And they knocked it out of the park, like really did. Trent McDuffie at 21, trading up with New England. New England just made. New England we will get into later. Oh my God, New England, what are you doing? But Kansas City here getting Trent McDuffie, an absolute stud. I wanted the Ravens to take him if they got the opportunity, but Kansas City lands him. Perfect fit for McDuffie. He goes to they do run a lot of press man, which McDuffie does strive in. The only thing you can talk about with McDuffie is his arms, his arm length. We'll have to see if that affects him. I don't think it will. He can play boundary corner, slot corner, nickel corner, free safety, or strong safety. He can play all over the field, any position in the secondary. He's just such a pure football player. He understands the position, and I do love the pick. George Karlaftis going at 30. Again, perfect value for Karlaftis. I thought teams were going to reach and take him early on in the draft. They didn't, and he falls to Kansas City, where he's going to be an absolute stud for them. Him paired up with Chuck Clark and Chris Jones is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Karlaftis falling to them is perfect. Very good player. Sky Moore goes to Kansas City. One of the better receivers left on the board in the second round. Him and George Pickens, I think Pickens went a couple picks before him, are perfect. And he goes to Kansas City, where he's going to be an absolute stud. Brian Cook out of Cincinnati goes to them as well. Very good pick. Leo Chenal, I like this pick a lot, out of Wisconsin for the Kansas City Chiefs. I really, really, really like this pick. Here in a 4'5", 6'3", 250. I think he's going to be a very good starter. Has a very high ceiling. Joshua Williams is not bad at all. And then the rest of these guys, I don't really know too much about, so I'm going to stay, away from them. And then they signed Justin Ross. Now that doesn't count as the draft, but they did sign him. And if he plays up to what he did, this draft is like an A++++ infinity, because Justin Ross at his full potential, fully healthy, he's going to be one of the best receivers in football. But we'll definitely have to see about that. For now, this is an A+. They just got so much great value here in the first 5 picks. I just love it so much. A lot like the Ravens draft right there. The Las Vegas Raiders, not much to talk about here. I don't really know a lot of these guys, so bear with me. I know, like the first 4 rounds I know, the 5th rounds maybe I know a couple guys, but 6th and after you kind of got me lost, except for the Ravens. I looked up who they were because I'm a Ravens fan. But right here, the Raiders' first pick was in the 3rd round. They get Dylan Parham. I do like this pick. Guard. They're trying to replace Gabe Jackson, and I think he'll be a starter. Dylan Parham, I think will definitely be a starter. He's 6'3", 311 pounds, and I really like this pick right here. Very good value in the 3rd round. Zamir White, running back. I don't know this pick. So they didn't pick up Josh Jacobs' 5th-year contract. Maybe this is why they picked him. But Zamir White here out of Georgia, I like the pick a lot. I feel like he can be a very good starter in the NFL. But we'll definitely have to see if they sign Josh Jacobs. I think Kenyon Drake is still there, maybe. So we'll have to see. Neil Farrell, DT, I like this pick as well. I thought the Ravens might take him. Interior D-line. They ended up taking obviously Jones earlier in the draft, but maybe they snagged up another D lineman. But Neil Farrell here, 6'4", 330. I think he could be an above-average guy down the road. He definitely has to be developed a little bit. So Neil Farrell that I like, and then Matthew Butler, Thayer Munford Jr., and Britton Brown. I don't really know too much about. I will give the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm just giving them a B. There's no guys like that I would like they're standout, but when you have a 1st or 2nd round pick, it's hard to do. So right here, the first 3 picks I like. The last 3 I don't really know too much about, so I'm not gonna grade them on that. Chargers here, I think the Chargers did a very good job. Zion Johnson, I mean, they got an absolute steal at 17. Johnson probably should have went to Houston at 15 if they were thinking if they were seriously thinking about taking an interior lineman. Zion Johnson should have went there. Zion Johnson falls to the Chargers, and he is going to be an absolute stud. Herbert has a very legit shot to go to the Super Bowl this year. Obviously, the Chargers, they just signed so many free agents on the defense, and then the offense was already built. They have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jalen Guyton at receiver. They have Jared Cook, I think, is still there maybe, and then they also have Donald Parham Jr. as tight end, and then on the offensive line they have Corey Linsley, Brian Bulaga, they have Rashawn Slater, and now they have Zion Johnson rounding it out, and they have an absolute wall built around Justin Herbert. JT Woods, safety at Baylor. I like that pick. Isaiah Spiller, I think he can go in there and start right away, to be honest. I really think he can start right away. And then the rest of these guys, I don't really know too much about. Again, I'm not really too familiar with these guys that go in the later rounds. Ogbania, I kind of know a little bit about. He's going to be, a fine player. The rest I don't really know too much about. The Chargers, I'm going to give an A. Zion Johnson and Isaiah Spiller, I love the value there for those two picks right there. The Chargers are just drafting very well. The Miami Dolphins didn't have a pick until the third round. Obviously, they traded most of them away to the Chiefs, or all of them away to the Chiefs to get Tyreek Hill. Channing Tindall, Eric Ezukanma, I don't know if I'm saying that right. They're fine picks. I don't really know these guys too well. I'm just gonna give them. I'm gonna give the Dolphins a B again. I don't really know too much about these guys, especially the last two. They do take a quarterback in the 7th round. Interesting right there. So Dolphins are gonna be. Again, I don't really know too much about those guys at all. New England Patriots. I'm gonna say it right now. This is a D-. I hate this draft. I actually really do. I just don't understand what they were thinking at all. Cole Strange at pick 29. Maybe I could be wrong about this, but getting rid of Cole Strange, or not Cole Strange, Shaq Mason for I'm pretty sure. Let's see, is it on here? It was with the Bucks. They got like a 5th round pick for him, and then they take Cole Strange when you could have got him late in the 2nd round. I just don't understand it at all. Taekwon Thornton right here out of Baylor. They take a receiver. He's just really fast, 6'2", 181. He's really probably just gonna be a special teamer. He really is just super fast. Nothing really else there for him. Marcus Jones, not bad. Jack Jones, not bad. Pierre Strong. Again, I actually kind of like that pick. And then Bailey Zappi, quarterback with 137th pick. Why? I really don't understand why at all. Maybe to give Mac Jones some competition, but I just don't understand it. I really just don't, because you need other positions filled on your team. You need upgrades at different positions. I'm not saying the guy you would have drafted instead of him would have been an absolute stud, but at least give it a shot. You don't need a quarterback on the roster. With Mac Jones, you already have to in Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer, but unless they feel like Mac Jones just isn't it, and they know that already, they're trying to get like a steal or something. I honestly couldn't tell you. This is a D- draft. The Patriots again stink at drafting. Once more in this draft. So we have 1, 2, 3 teams left here. The New York Jets, A++. I really love this draft. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson, all in the 1st round, is amazing. They added 2 absolute studs to their D-line, or not to their D-line, to their defense. Gardner's going to be a Jalen Ramsey type player, locking down one side of the field. Garrett Wilson is going to be a starting receiver, obviously wide receiver 1 for them for a long time. And Jermaine Johnson, the 2nd, fell to 26. He was a top 10 player in this draft. I had him going 9 to Seattle, and he falls to 26 over I don't really know what. And the Jets are going to get an instant starter on that D-line. It's going to be him, Carl Lawson, Quinn Williams on the D-line for a long time, and I love it. The Jets absolutely nailed this draft. Breece Hall as well in the 2nd round, probably the best running back in this draft. The Jets pick him up. I didn't really understand it, but maybe Tevin Coleman's not going to be around. You have Breece Hall and Michael Carter on that team. Oh my God, I love it. Jeremy Ruckert, tight end. They do need some tight ends, so not bad at all. Max Mitchell, I like this pick a lot. He's very versatile. He can play tackle and guard, and he'll probably be moved around quite a bit. I think he'll definitely be a very good starter. And then Michael Clement is another defensive lineman, very good there. They drafted for depth right there, which I understand. This is an A++++ draft. This is my best grade of the entire year. The Jets and the Ravens had the best drafts in my opinion. I absolutely love it right there for the Jets. Now we get to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is going to be a B+ in my opinion. Kenny Pickett, I have some concerns. I just think it was too high. If they got him with the pick that they had George Pickens, got him at 52, maybe I would be fine with it. But Kenny Pickens at 20, when we don't even know if he's going to be the best quarterback in this draft, let alone the 20th overall pick, when no quarterback went within 50 picks of him. I don't really understand it. I get it. It's sentimental. Pittsburgh. College, he's going to stay in Pittsburgh. I mean, I've actually heard he's going to stay in the same practice building. He just has to come in the other entrance. Pickett, I mean, he has small hands. I mean, you've seen all the memes about it. He does have the small hands there, but I'm not really too worried about that. George Pickens here at number 52, I love. The Steelers had a very, very, very good second, third, fourth round. Love those picks in those rounds here, and Pickens is amazing. I wanted the Ravens to get him. If they could have traded back into the second round to get him, I wish they did. Obviously, they took Ajabo, which I would rather have over Pickens, but if they could trade back up, maybe get rid of some of those fourth round picks they had to get Pickens, I would have loved it. DeMarvin Leal, I love as well. Another guy I thought the Ravens could have taken. They got Jones instead. Maybe he could have fell to the fourth round, and the Ravens could have snagged him, but he didn't. Stayed in the third round. Steelers get him, and then Calvin Austin picked right before the Ravens pick came up, and I actually heard the Ravens were looking into Calvin Austin. He's a lot like Marquise Brown. He's very small and he's very fast. If this wants to load here, here in a 4.3, he's 5'8", 170. He's gonna be a lot like Marquise Brown. Maybe a little bit worse, and I mean I still like the pick. And then the last couple picks were for depth right there. You can see they drafted another quarterback. The Steelers, I give a B+, not bad at all. It actually could be an A, to be honest, but I'm going to give them a B+ right there for the Steelers. And then the last team is going to be the Tennessee Titans, who actually had a very good draft. So they traded away A.J. Brown, obviously, to the Eagles. They got the 18th pick in return, and they took Treylon Burks, who was A.J. Brown 2.0. He is the exact same build, the exact same type of player. They get Roger McCreary in round 2, who I love as well. Very good corner, obviously the best corner on the board at the time. They get Malik Willis at 86. Love the pick. My best guess is that why Malik Willis fell. Obviously, people had him going 6 to Carolina, maybe even 2 to Detroit, 20 to Pittsburgh, maybe even to 19 to the Saints. I mean, people had him going stupidly high for a guy that played 2 D1 teams, and when he did play him, he didn't throw a touchdown pass. So I do understand why he fell, but he fell to a very good organization with a very good coach who can coach this guy up. And he does have a mentor now in Ryan Tannehill, who is a very above average quarterback in the NFL. Malik Willis here, my best guess is why he fell is because people found out or feel like he's going to be a project. He's going to be a project quarterback, a very developmental quarterback that they're going to have to wait on. So that's my best guess on why he fell all the way to 86. And the Titans just were probably like, all right, I mean, this is incredible value for a guy who has the upside of being a top 10 quarterback. So might as well try. Hassan Haskins, not bad at all. And then Okonkwo right here. I love this pick. He is very fast. He can play fullback as well. I actually wanted the Ravens to try to snag him. He's 4'5" for a tight end, 6'2", 238. I feel like he can be a very good player, especially in this system where they run the ball a lot and they pass their tight ends a lot. Perfect for the Ravens, perfect for the Titans schemes. I love those picks. And then Kyle Phillips and Theo Jackson and Chance Campbell, don't really know much about. Looks like they were for depth right here. Overall for the Titans, I'm going to give them an A. I want to say A+, but I think I am just going to give them an A. They probably could have done better with the 69th overall pick right here, but I am going to give them a for now. Those are the AFC teams. This is a very long video. If you guys stuck around, make sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could turn that bell on so you get notified whenever I upload a video. See you guys in the next one. See ya.